The reason why I decided to do this was because during my first semester, I went through a lot of stress. That was the first time I was leaving my country, coming to the US, coming to Harvard, having to adapt with the... Hi, I am Mumia Mohammed, an Open Dream scholar and an international student from Cameroon. I am presently a freshman at Harvard and I plan to concentrate in computer science. I'm not very certain about what I'm going to take as a secondary, but I guess I have plenty of time to decide on that. This is basically a video series that I decided to start where I will be reporting how my weeks are going here at Harvard during the second semester of this freshman year. So the reason why I decided to do this was because during my first semester, I went through a lot of stress. That was the first time I was leaving my country, coming to the US, coming to Harvard, having to adapt with a lot of things, and most importantly was leaving family and friends behind. So it was definitely not easy to be able to go through this without having someone to talk to, having someone who can understand your situation, who can relate with you. So that led to a period of stress, and the time difference didn't really help because it was very difficult to be able to contact someone when you're free. But after the long semester, I've been able to catch up. I learned a few coping mechanisms, and I decided to launch this video series to be able to not only talk about how my semester is going and how I'm feeling about things that I'm doing, but first of all to share what it is like to be a student at Harvard, to prospective applicants and prospective students to know what to expect when you come over here. So I am definitely making this to be able to share more about the stress of being a college student, and but also the good things about it, and I'm looking forward to have a more fun and interesting, exciting semester. It's all about my winter break. I had 5 weeks break, and it was really the most amazing break I've ever had. So this amazing break started with a trip to Washington DC, where I met other Open Dream scholars during a Cameroonian meal. That was really an exciting event because I got to meet some new Open Dream scholars, and I had the opportunity to eat Cameroonian food after a long period of time. That was really interesting, and after that, thanks to Tia Maria, I was able to visit the 14 most amazing sites in Washington, taking pictures all around. It wasn't that cool because it was on a very rainy day and it was very cold, but I was able to reunite with a long-time friend. We hadn't met for like 6 years since she left Cameroon, but it was a very cool experience. We got to see a lot of places. We were on the old trolley tour, so we were just in the bus and going around taking some pictures when we could. So it was quite an experience. So I really enjoyed DC. Afterwards, I went to Baltimore, where I spent some time with relatives, and came back to Boston to prepare before my trip to San Diego. So my trip to San Diego was really amazing. I spent one of the most amazing weeks in my life, thanks to Hans and Christina, who made everything for me to feel at home. So in San Diego, I have had a lot of first times. The first thing amazing I did was I went paddleboarding. I was really scared about it, but at the end of the day, I was really excited, and that's something I definitely want to do again. I went on a roller coaster for my first time. That was very scary. I still have the thrill from the first loop. That was so scary. I almost thought I was losing my heart, but at the end of the day, that was really cool. I learned how to skateboard. Well, I wouldn't say I know professionally, but yeah, it was also a very good experience. I drove an automatic car for my first time. That was quite fun too. And I also tried sushi for my first time. I went into a jet simulation at the Air and Space Museum. That was quite interesting, though controlling the aircraft needed definitely more practice. But anyway, I enjoyed all the activities I did in San Diego, and the love and care I received from Christina and Hans. And the most amazing part was being able to spend quality time with the kids. It was just so amazing to feel like that family vibe. I really, really loved it. Then, well, it was time to depart, and I had to come back to Boston after a week spent in San Diego. So, as soon as I returned to Boston, I was already on another trip back to New York, where I spent almost a week as a student at Columbia University. So that one was a very crazy experience as well. So I visited my friend Roy, who is a graduate student at Columbia, and since it was the first week of classes back in Columbia, we decided to make myself a student at Columbia University. And don't ask me how I did to enter some buildings. That's secret, but but it was really a great experience. I got to experience what it is like to be a student at another Ivy League, again in the middle of New York. So, and I would say Columbia University is a very beautiful campus. I really loved it. So my experience there was really amazing. I met a few people. I liked their dining system. Well, it's definitely different. There are a lot of differences with Harvard, but I won't talk about it here. But so I really loved my experience in Columbia University and in New York in general. So Roy made his best to make me experience the New York lifestyle and the nice places to visit, and I really enjoyed my time at New York. So definitely I had to come back to campus to be able to prepare for the next semester, which starts on Monday. So ended my trip quite early. I just spent almost a week in New York, but I still enjoyed that. So that's a little bit how my winter break went. And after going through this very exciting winter break, that's actually when I noticed that the first semester was boring and stressful. I wasn't taking some time for myself. I wasn't thinking about like resting for some time or doing some fun activities. But after spending this break, I told myself this is really how I want my semester to look like. A mix of studies, but also setting time for myself, being able to have fun when I want to or when my body needs to as well. So those are the things that I hope to make use of and to guide me during this next semester. So that is the reason why I wanted to start this video series, to keep myself posted on what I'm doing and making a self-evaluation. I also hope that this video series help people understand what it is like to study here and what to expect. The next part of this video series will be me answering a few questions that I keep receiving from my fellow Cameroonians and just anyone from the internet. So during each of the videos I'll be posting, I'll take some time to answer a few of those questions, and I would say please feel free to always ask your questions after you watch the video. So you can ask your question in the comment section, and I will try to answer as many as I can in the next video. There are definitely many different adjustments because first of all, from a country that is not cold at all, so having to adjust to the cold, having to adjust to the food, having to adjust to the new educational system, English not being my first language, so that's also an adjustment. Like, so all of them are, I would say there are just so many of them, so I can say there is only one main adjustment. The food, I would say, is definitely not Cameroonian food, and I'm really not happy with the fact that I can't really find Cameroonian food around the corner. But I would say, well, the food is not bad. I wouldn't say it's great because I don't think it is. I really like food from my country, but I would say the food is okay, it's not too bad. And definitely sometimes we have very good meals, and yeah, I don't think you should worry about food at all. So just come over here and you'll get used to the food, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to answer this question relating it only to Harvard. So back from my country, I mean, the movies we've been watching about the typical Harvard student just being focused about academics, just being a genius in studies. I am really glad what I saw here was definitely not the case. So for sure, I would say all Harvard students are so brilliant, but not necessarily only in academics. People here have amazing talents in different fields, and that's what makes them special. And I'm really glad Harvard is not the campus where everyone will just be bypassing each other because they are so interested in their studies and academics, but it's more of a lively campus, where one thing that really surprised me was the fact that by we I mean Harvard students, we love parties. I mean, Harvard students really love parties, and I really can't count the number of parties that were on campus during my first semester. That's like insane. But yeah, that's one thing that really surprised me. The educational system really amazed me. When I came here after a semester, I mean, my experience and my view of things have just totally changed, because I've been learning the theory almost all my life, and for the first time I've been able to understand how I can make use of that theory. I mean, I was taking a math class and we were doing projects in math. I was like so amazed, because for the first time I saw how I can use something like calculus, how I can use integration, differentiation, or some other properties of math to be able to solve real life situations and work on projects. It really sounds weird to say project in a math class, but yeah, that's what happened, and that was really a great surprise. So same thing with the computer science. I've been learning how to code that. For the first time, I've been able to like work on a real project and make use of the languages I've been learning to solve real life problems, and I was just so excited about that. So the academic system is definitely a positive surprise, and I really wish anyone can have access to this kind of education. So that is it for the questions I'm going to answer for this video. Yeah, it's definitely not a professional video. I just want to do something where I will be sharing about my views, my feelings, how good I am, how well I'm doing in a week, how not good I felt. So I'm just gonna use this opportunity to be talking to all of you and sharing my pains, sharing my joy, sharing my excitement, and hopefully encouraging you and letting you know what it is like to be a student here or to live here. So yeah, all of this because of the fun break I had. So after a very fun break, I feel boosted to have more fun, have a right balance, of course, for the academics and the fun activities, spending time with friends, making new connections. So I hope that I will be able to do that this semester, and I hope at the same time while doing these videos I will be able to help you watching. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you next week.